2 o'clock, I'd like to first meeting order. We'll start off.
Your carpet's in.
Wait
on your.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so a couple more.
I would like to thank everyone for coming on such a fine day outside. If everyone had a chance to review the minutes, if they did, I'd like to motion legislator Twist, second by legislator Emmons. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none? Carries. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to move the following items in a block. GC1, PS1, HS1, HS2, HS3, HS5, HS7, HE1, IT3 through IT7.
That's HS6 and HS, not 5.
Oh, HS6 and HS10. So leaving out HS5 and HS7. You get that?
Yeah.
I know Jack is.
Oh.
We're leaving out 5 a first, do I have a second? Alright. Second by legislator Emmons. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, they carry. That brings us on to HS5. Resolution authorizing budget modification for the Department of Social Services Mental Hygiene Division Unit to accept New York State OASAA state aid.
So move. Second.
First by legislator Emmons, second by legislator Twist. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm opposed. Okay, on to HS7. Yes, HS7. Okay, resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Service and Mental Hygiene Division to accept New York State OMH state aid.
So move.
Okay, first by legislator Emmons, second by legislator Holst. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I oppose. Okay, on to, did you move HE1 in that as well?
Yep, so
Okay, we're on to FP1. Resolution pursuant to section 206 of county law changing legislative office building hours for June, July, and August. As the notice is in the first by legislator Twist, second by legislator Lockwood. Yes, legislator Lockwood. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carries. FP2, resolution authorizing reclassification of 3 positions in the treasurer's office. First by legislator Twist, second by legislator Emmons. Any discussion?
Oh, I got to talk all day about this. So there was the first time in 2.5 years I actually came in front of the committee for vacancy. So she retired. She's missed. But what I want to do is I'm asking for it to reclass 1 down level to a junior accountant, 1 position. I don't think we'll ever find an accountant at this point right now, at the money. So if we bring a junior accountant in, understand, and try to train them, maybe move them up to an accountant position. In turn, the other 2, there's 2 promotions that I'd like to move up. The principal, 2 people that move to principal clerks. Our online services are exploding, so we don't need them to really greet people anymore. We need them to facilitate behind the scenes using the phones and helping us with so-called bookkeeping in some ways, so we can allocate the resources. They're very talented. They went through with us in the pandemic, and it was pretty tough down there because people were writing nasty letters on envelopes and meeting us, saying, this stamp in the envelope was licked with somebody with COVID. Hope you enjoy your tax money and stuff. But they never wavered. So, I'm asking for an upgrade of those 2 individuals, and then at the end, I hate doing this, but it's a savings. I hate giving money back. But, so that's my story.
Understood. Thank you. All those in favor? Oh, there it is. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. FP3, resolution authorizing, awarding professional services contract RFP 22-TR001, actuarial services. First by legislator Evans, second by legislator Holst.
I do have a question. I think this is helpful. We were talking about it. In the packet, what is the actual, in the packet, there wasn't any breakdown in terms of pricing. So what's the actual price of the services?
I think that was in the
It's
full
in
bid,
the-
wasn't it?
it's
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's in
that's
the resolution.
just.
The resolution.
There wasn't any, yeah,
Oh, the individual
Consulting.
pricing?
yeah,
Oh, individual.
yeah. I mean, I see the
Oh, here.
evaluation ratings, but I don't
Isn't it?
see,
Oh.
The back page?
Do you want me to run down and look over?
I mean, I think it would be, I think when we have resolutions come forward like this, I mean, we should be able to also see pricing.
I think it's that was 5,000 for the first year, I believe. It's the cheapest one.
It was
of
the
bunch.
cheapest one.
So you're gonna cost of 5,000 for the first year, full evaluation, 1250 for the second optional term.
It's right in the resolution.
Yeah, it's in the
Well,
resolution.
there.
252.
I think we
No, I
did.
get the
No, he
pricing.
wants to see the pricing of all of
All
them.
the bids.
Like, we have a bid in the bid, we
Yeah.
don't, yeah, we don't have that. A lot of times we do get to see not only the scoring, but the actual pricing for each of the bids. So I think that would have been helpful, just to see. Because it is curious to me that also, I mean, and I don't know what they do honestly, but, you know, we have a couple of more local folks in here, and the company that's been selected is out of Minnesota. So, I mean, I guess it would have been helpful to kind of see that last piece of the puzzle, if you will, in terms of how far the pricing is off between the more local
Tens of
company.
thousands. They were gonna do 15 grand, I think. The one company that is really local, I think was like 15 grand for the first year alone, and it was, this company offered us 0 for that
I
year.
think it just, again, would have been helpful to see that, right?
Right.
It would have completed a picture in terms of.
Yeah, oh, you're definitely, would
Absolutely. All right, well, you're good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carries. 8-0. Three, we do have, no, this, do we have to do this here to walk on, do we do that?
Yeah, that'd be a motion. It's not a resolution. It's simply setting the salary for the acting deputy highway superintendent.
And we have a request here to set the salary for the interim deputy highway superintendent at the salary of $75,272. There's step 7, SP 60 step 7 of the management plan.
Second.
First by legislator Twist, second by legislator Emmons. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That's carries.
While we're in vacancy.
That's, we're just going to that now. Julie,
Before we officially turn over your mind, we also, Chairman has discussed about, trying to fill CPS positions, faster. Prudent for us to do that now, I would assume, before we even start, let's just get that out of the way. So, I'd like to make a motion that, we waive,
CPS position.
just waive the, where they have to come to vacancy review to fill those CPS positions.
Yeah.
So I'll make that formal, motion.
Okay,
Second.
first by legislator Twist, second by legislator Emmons, and that is that moves out of CPS positions straight to it, doesn't.
Yeah, they won't have to come here.
They don't have to come to us.
Right. It used to be.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that carries. Okay, on to Julie.
Okay. So 911 has a telecommunicator part-time due to resignation, and a telecommunicator due to resignation, and then 2 backfill telecommunicators due to promotional opportunities.
Okay, looking for motion to move those, first by legislator Holst, second by legislator Lockwood. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carried.
Okay, emergency management, Tom has a vacant APIS part-time position due to resignation.
First by legislator Twist, second by legislator Lockwood. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carries.
Probation has a typist position due to resignation.
Motion moved by legislator Holst, first by legislator Holst, second by legislator Emmons. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Carries.
Okay, social services, a community service worker due to resignation, and a typist due to resignation.
Motion moved. First by legislator Lockwood, second by legislator Emmons. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
And solid waste, there's a equipment mechanics 1 due to resignation and was recommended to fill after 4/18.
Yeah. So a motion to move. First by legislator Holst, second by legislator Twist. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That carries.
Okay, and then according to, since March 6th, our savings to date for vacancy positions is $1,368,840, and it's more than double this time last year.
Understand. That can be good and it can be bad.
Yeah.
It's good that we're saving money, but it's bad that we can't get the employees.
Yeah.
Okay. 9-2.
Well, it could be various reasons too. Somebody here had high seniority that left, and then, they're
Right.
being filled at the base rate, so
Right,
there's
that's
savings
true.
there as well.
That's true. Okay. And I'll second that.
Okay, well, I also submitted just our year-end snapshot that we do annually, and just to kind of go over a quick, now that the state is back up and running and finally catching up with their exams, we are basically almost doubled the amount of exams held this year as opposed to last year. We've tripled the amount of career fairs that we have been able to attend. Well, I guess 21, this is for 21, not this year, but because of the venues being able to allow us to attend those career fairs. So, back in 20 we did 2, last year we did 6. So it's nice to be able to do that, basically get full and back up and running exam-wise, and bringing in more exam fees than 20 as opposed to 21. So things are going in a positive direction.
But it's good. Okay. That's it. Thank you, Julie. Leave this way. Okay.
Great. I wanted to start off a little bit, start big and then go small. Just an update on the state budget. You know that it's already 6 days late. They are still debating things like bail reform. There's a debate over whether mental health providers should be able to involuntarily keep someone in a mental hospital or in the hospital for a mental disturbance for longer than 72 hours. The argument is that 72 hours isn't long enough to evaluate. So there's some constitutional rights arguments going back and forth. They are debating over possibly a suspension of the New York State gas tax and how to do that if they do. There's different ways to do it. One of their concerns is that if they certain ways that it can be done do not necessarily guarantee that you'll pay less at the pump. So they're undecided on that. I think they want to do it, but I haven't quite figured out the method yet. Also, although the overall proposed budget is fairly benign on counties and Actually helps us out in a couple of areas. There's a couple of areas that are a bit of a letdown. The proposal to automatically extend our 1% sales tax is out, so we're going to have to request that again. And the practice the state has of skimming our sales tax to fund this distressed hospital fund is still in there. NISAC's fighting to get it out. They got AIM out, the aid to municipalities that was being skimmed from our sales tax. But they're really trying to fight this because it sets a bad precedent. That's a local tax being used to fund something the state wants to do, even though there's plenty of state and federal money for these hospitals. So there doesn't seem to be a purpose for it. In the first year they did this, they just swept it and put it in their general fund, and the hospitals got it. So that fight is ongoing, and I'm not going to run a pool or anything as to when this budget gets passed. So we'll let you know as soon as it does. Now on to here locally. I passed around our variance report through March. That's this long printout. We are up a bit compared to March of last year. I've highlighted on this sheet, it came out in white spots, but some areas are what is causing that. You can see on the chart on the screen, it compares 4 years through March. The current year is the dark blue line on your screen. You'll see that it's a little bit above last year at this time, but the good news is it's well below 2019 and 2020. And that is charting the percent of the budget that has been expended so far in the first 3 months. What drove it up a little bit is community college increase, some early encumbrances for capital projects, the new labor contracts that were adopted, and health restructuring. But a lot of those, particularly the health restructuring, is matched with new revenue. So it doesn't put us necessarily in the hole, but we're up a little bit because there's additional revenue there. Does anybody have any questions on that? Yeah. Anybody have any questions on the variance report? Okay. Other than that, what I wanted to do is, this is sort of a teaser, just in addition to the daily projects and routine work that we're doing, we have 2 projects underway that I wanted to make you aware of. The first, Veronica is doing a deep dive into all of our capital projects that have been set up for the last several years. If you remember, we occasionally do a resolution to close finished capital projects and return that money. This is what she's involved in now, but she's going back a little bit further, making sure everything is balances, and so you'll be seeing a capital project reconciliation resolution, I hope at your next meeting, where we will be returning some money out of those projects back to fund balance and reserves. The second one, second project is, you're right, it doesn't do that for me. Okay. The other thing we're working on, and Casey's heading this up, is to modernize our budget book. It doesn't comply with GFOA standards or ADA standards, and it really should. So what she is doing is using the software package from the Office of Strategic Initiatives that we bought or are piloting with some ARPA funds, and it's being used to help with the ARPA decision making. It has the ability to read Munis and produce a budget book, which is something that we've been missing since we went to Munis. It's every time we have to produce a draft, tentative, or adopted budget, it is days of work, line by line, to put that together. This, you create a template of how you want it to appear, hit a button, and in 5 minutes it compiles the whole book for you. And the nice part of this is it does comply with all modern national standards, and it will also include additional information for all of you and the public, including converting all those data lines into more visual content, like the sample that's up there for the Sheriff's Department, also additional demographic information or community information that puts the whole budget in context for you. And it's not just printed, it's online. So you can actually go in, search it, find what you want. You can even check mark what you want printed out and develop your own budget from it on things you're interested in. So this ClearGov is becoming more prevalent throughout the country in terms of municipalities moving to this. It's been winning awards because it's been so good. We are piloting it. There is a cost to it, so we got a break on it this year. What I want to do is see if you like this, and if so, we'll have to make a decision later in the year if we want to continue with this or not, whether it produces a product that you find useful. But so far, I'm liking what I see because it not only takes in what we give it, but it uses information from other websites and databases to help compile a picture of the community and the county and the budget that's useful for you to know. So that's underway. That's probably another couple of months out in development, and we're going to have a sample budget for you based on the 22 budget for you to examine, play with online, and see in hard copy. Just want to let you know that those two things are underway.
Sounds like a win-win. Yeah, that sounds, I know you spoke about it before,
Yeah.
When we first went to meetings.
And once the budget is set up, it will save an enormous amount of time in producing these budget books for you.
That's good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Phil. On to the treasurer.
I don't have any slides. You're welcome. Just real quick, the lawn, had to go down into that. The Munis upgrade is going to be occurring, so HR, IT, Treasurer's Office, and we're going online with a lot of things, and we've seen the success. And along with this budget book and the future Munis upgrade has to be done. We can't go back. We can't keep the same system. So, but that's going to be occurring in the next few months, and they've already had meetings and things like that. I will tell you payroll. I brought it to the committee telling you that payroll is being converted over to online, no more paper. HR had a heavy lift in that, and so far it's branching out to the public safety building in the next few weeks, and then branching out over most of the county facilities. So far, I've always said, please bring me problems, questions, anything. And I've heard a couple, but that was a couple months ago. I haven't heard anything like it. So I encourage, if there's any issues with that, let us know. The sales tax. It's got sales tax today, and it's hot off the press. And again, I really mentioned it last meeting. You just gotta be careful with sales tax. It came in, this last check came in about $335,000 under what we made last year. So the direction is not going where we normally see it. So it's not hit the panic button, it's hit the caution button. Just something to be aware of. So from our accrual standpoint, the ones that we start, the accrual method starts in February, we're only up $395,000. But if you look at the calendar, we're down 1.2. There's confidence level in me that says, yeah, we'll pick that up. The state just, some is actual, some is they kind of guess at some checks, and then they bring in the actual and kind of makes up the difference. I just want to make sure that I give you a full warning, so when we get in December or September or whatever, it's not a shock that we didn't, our sales tax was a little bit rough. Maybe more will help it out, maybe it won't. I don't know. So, and this discussion, every county's looking at it, some counties are really high, we're not. Really up, I've seen some in the 60% increase. We're not there yet. So it could be a lot of variables that play into that. So I just want to make mention,
And it's a good example of why we don't budget what we make in that current year. We budgeted a little low because there's a hedge against any type of downturn.
Yep. So, and other than that, I just want to go back to the actuary services real quick. And I agree the pricing should be there, but you got to remember there are other situations that occur. The two local ones. One was outrageously priced, and the other one was not the best. They were current, and they made mistakes that I do not like, cannot handle. So I didn't care what the price was. They were not going to do business. So that plays into it, not just price. So the two companies that found the errors that the current company made was the one that was really high and one that was really low. So we have to play into that, but I totally agree that we need to present the pricing with these. Other than that, I think that's it.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Purchase.
Well, we're going live with live bid openings starting next week. We did a couple tests yesterday and today. We're going to do another test tomorrow. But so far, it's working really well. So if you go on the purchasing page, on the left-hand side, there's an option that says live bid openings. And we will start, well, we're still practicing, and it says draft. But starting next week, we'll list our live bid openings and whoever wants to, and we'll have in our bids that go out that we are having live bid openings so that they know, and we'll give them the address, the web address, so that they can go on. And then we'll just start listing them, and they'll just click on it and come right in to a WebEx forum, and we'll do the live bid openings. So we're pretty excited. Took a while, but we're happy.
Are those recorded as you do it?
We're not recording them. Do you want us to?
Should be. Yeah, they probably should be, might be able to record the challenge.
Okay, we can do that. You just have to hit the record button.
Really sad if I've done that right.
That's all they're interested in, it's a smart idea
Okay.
or not. And so,
If there's any discrepancies, then you always have.
Right.
Go to the videotape, right?
And that's true. All right, all set now?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that's everything.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do a proper motion to adjourn by legislator Twist, second by legislator Evans. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.